And blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning on KIDO Talk Radio. Let's open up the phone lines at 580-5436. 580-KIDO. People are saying, well, the president had no heart. The president was a bad president. Look, the president of the United States is in one of those unique situations. He can't win anyway. If he lets the illegals in, well, he's betrayed his base. If he enforces the law, he's cruel and just a bad person. Well, I thought I would start with this.
So we've created 3.4 million new jobs since Election Day. 3.4. And I've said before, if I would have said that to you during the campaign, those very dishonest people back there, the fake news, very dishonest. They would have said he's exaggerating. These are very dishonest people, many of them, and we have some fine people, too, doing that. But there's a lot of very dishonest people. For instance, I just got back, as you know, from Singapore.
There you have it, the president of the United States not pulling any punches. And as John Edwards said many years ago, no, not CNN blanks, but there are two Americas. And there has been a silent America for quite some time. There has been a silent America again and again and again. And we've decided our voices need to be heard. You might deal with it in your own place of business. You might deal with it with your own family. You might deal with it in other parts of the world, the country. And Donald Trump has allowed us to come back and to reclaim America. Now, people can say, well, he folded this, that, and the other. And you have a lot of mean-spirited people doing that, right? You have a lot of people going, we're going to get Trump. Trump is horrible. Well, I don't think so. Because now you can't say that Donald Trump is a mean person. So all the people here breaking the law, all the people here that are coming in, all that's going to do is encourage more mass migration. You know, we have people on from FAIR. We have people on from the Center for Immigration Studies. And I can remember many years ago, people saying to me, Kevin, that's not an issue in Idaho. It is an issue in Idaho. We were ahead of our time. And we've had Bill Geen on, warning of what happens. The media doesn't tell us what's going on. They only see one side of the story, unfortunately. Now, it gets heated. You have the fake news media going crazy. And they do. This is something that I wanted to share with you from the other day. This is Corey Lewandowski. You might have heard about this. This was on Fox News. All of a sudden, he started going back and forth, and now people are condemning him for allegedly making fun of a child. These were harsh comments, but emotions are running high on both sides.
About a 10-year-old girl with Down syndrome who was taken from her mother and put in a cage. I read about did you say want to a 10-year-old with Down syndrome being taken from her mother?
Pick anything you want out, but the bottom line is very clear.
How dare you?
When you cross the border illegally, you have given up the rights of this country.
We have infants that are being taken from their mothers.
We are a country with borders. We are a country of laws.
Stolen from their mothers and put into cages.
This country illegally, your parents understand this. They understand something.
Nobody can hear when you both talk. So
when you cross the border illegally, when you commit a crime, you are taken away from your family.
She has Down syndrome and she was taken from her mother.
All right, Zach,
you go to
hold
any
on, Corey.
country in the world,
let's get Zach to finish his point.
When you commit a crime, you are taken from your parents in any country in the world.
There is a reason why faith groups, there is a reason why 12 Republican senators sent a letter begging this administration to reverse this policy. There is a reason why the governor of New York is suing this administration to stop this policy. This policy is abhorrent. It is offensive to all.
Where were you during the Obama
people.
administration when this policy was in place?
This administration policy was not done during the administration. You are now lying about this policy in addition to saying
But to be clear, that children were detained at the border under the Obama administration.
When they were unaccompanied minors. The difference now is they are accompanied minors. The Trump administration is forcibly making them unaccompanied minors when they take them from their parents and put them in cages. And we have members of the Trump team who are going wah wah when you learn about the stories of horror that's going on down at the border.
And there we have it. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Corey Lewandowski getting his share of ridicule for that. But, you know, this is what really happens. The president decided to save these families because we heard so much about it. Now you have people saying that, well, that's not enough.
And by the way, today I signed an executive order. We're going to keep families together, but the border is going to be just as tough as it's been.
Right. Just as tough as it's going to be. One more time. Well, let me ask you, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, do you agree with that assessment? Cindy in Caldwell, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller.
Hey, Kevin Miller. I don't know if it's a great way to start a day, but I wish you would be just playing Lock Her Up. Listen, I got off the phone talking to you yesterday and called Mike Crapo. I called all our representatives here, and it's very interesting. I did get to talk in Washington to all their political assistants, and they will send back letters. The bottom line is, you know, Donald Trump reminds me of Braveheart. I actually said, even before he signed the order, you know what's going to happen? This is what's going to happen because you people, instead of standing behind your president, each and every one of them, I did speak to Raul Labrador's office also, I said, you know what? In Braveheart, every single Klansman in several of those battles turned against the person. And that's just like the squishy, spineless Republicans, instead of wanting them. Greg Cheney and I were talking last night. How about it? You know, Ted Cruz was great. They have bills out there. But once again, the emotional left, the papers, you know, you play about a thing about this woman. And how about, you know, I don't know what member of Hanoi Jane's family, Mr. Fonda there. Can you just imagine in a day and age if someone had ever said, let's just send, when he had twice, these are laws on the books. And if you look at the stats, no one said a word when he was saying things. Your friend Sean Hannity was playing clips yesterday about his detaining illegal people that come into America and their people and their parents. That's abusive and neglect to drag these children, to use them as just as much as other populations do as human shields to get what you want. I think it's despicable. And how about that? You know, nobody's saying any big thing this morning about that Fonda boy. I'm actually saying the horrific thing he did say about Barron Trump. I think it's just despicable. They seem to rationalize the horrendous vitriolic venom and hatred. And the squishy rhino Republicans, you know, all of them to boot. Not one of them, I knew it was going to happen. Not one of them would stand by the president, you know, and I'm sorry to say it was only Raul Labrador, so it didn't surprise me, even before our president's election, that stood by him. Just like in Braveheart, the members of their little old clan there, the ROC, did one of them come out? Did one of them stand strong?
Sure, the Republicans betrayed the president because they were afraid. Now, what do you think of the president saying, okay, I'll sign this, get it done?
I knew he was going to do that, responding to political pressure. I'm personally, I'm very sorry that he did that, but do I understand why he would do that? Yes, and then say we're going to have zero tolerance, because you know what? You can't reason with these people. You can't bring them facts. They all respond to just sheer emotionalism, and that's just going to be the way they are. Rigid ideologues. And once you understand that they couldn't care less about the sovereignty of this nation, they couldn't care about us speaking and assimilating one language, and I'm done. Every time I call on the phone, it happened to me yesterday 3 times. I speak a little Polish Russian, and I speak a little Hebrew and a few other little languages. I don't know how we got the Spanish still cooking. Imagine, you're talking about everything else we're paying for. I'm tired of going over to the hospital, watching interpreters, and I'm thinking, seriously now, how much are they paying you to do this? People don't want to assimilate. They just are into this socialistic bent. But
well, right, Cindy, that's exactly what they want. They're trying to recalibrate the United States of America, and that's what Obama wanted, and he did it for 8 years.
And the other
Democrats put illegal immigrants before they put American citizens. What the hell is going on?
Exactly.
I agree with the term he used, Other, because, they seem to think that they are on the side of good and right and on going to heaven by what they attribute to good works. But the opposite, and the president's right, there are 2 places, but even the more despicable thing, when they are actually using the word, I used to go on a march in Bellingham, Washington for Holocaust survivors, when they have the audacity, the sheer venom to equate these places of care for these young adults and children or people illegally coming in.
That's why we're going. That's right. We're going broke, Cindy. Thank you for the call. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Look, the president did what he had to do. Now that's never enough for folks. We'll get your reaction.
After days of protests from both Democrats and Republicans, President Trump reversed the DHS policy of separating migrant families at the U.S.-Mexico border. The president addressed the issue briefly at a campaign rally in Minnesota.
Democrats don't care about the impact of uncontrolled migration on your communities.
Under the executive order, the president directed Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen to maintain custody of detained families during criminal proceedings and as their asylum claims are adjudicated. But it's not immediately clear whether or when detained children will be reunited with their parents. At the White House, John Decker, Fox News.
580-5436, 580-KIDO. We all know of this policy. It was going on during the Obama administration where all these do-gooders protesting Obama. We'll talk about it next. Plus your calls. Kevin Miller. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us on 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Kevin Miller in the morning. Thank you all for joining us. So, this separation policy has been going on for quite some time, right? Quite some time. Why do you think that no one had this big outrage during Obama's administration? Remember, Obama did the same thing. Of course, you didn't have people screaming and yelling, and that was in 2014. So recently on CNN, you had anchorette Brooke Baldwin having one of their senators on saying, let's go back and forth on this.
But here's a question for Democrats, because you hear the president now, a lot on a lot of topics, and this one included, looking back to
at this time of year.
But here's a question for Democrats, because you hear the president now, a lot on a lot of topics, and this one included, looking back to previous administrations, they should have done more, right? And so as so many people in this country are certainly outraged by the cages and the thermal blankets and the facilities housing these kids, they were all there in 2014 under President Obama. And my question to you, Senator Baldwin, is did you speak up against them then?
On this issue that we get into a moment where we're making progress, and then when it stalls, we turn around. I think we all need to continue to be focused on it and press it through. The American people need confidence that we can solve problems. Nobody believes that we have an immigration system that works. It is broken, it needs fixing, but we've just got to resolve to do that.
But were you worried about it then? Did you raise your voice under the Obama administration?
You know, in numbers of cases, usually I remember a constituent who was in detention at the border, arguably very inappropriately, and we raised our voice in that instance and many others, but we've got to do this now in unison. It's not enough to do it case by case or senator or House member by House member. We've got to resolve to fix this issue.
So did you do it or not, Senator? Notice they don't answer the questions. 625 with Kevin Miller in the morning on KIDO Talk Radio. Let's get you to work safely and on time. Back to your phones. Let's go to Russell in Cuno with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Russell.
Kevin, good morning on this longest day of the year. It's good to have the chance to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, brother.
Hey, there are people out there that are thinking that the president caved on this issue, but I'm thinking that maybe what he did is he took away their issue.
He did, but I mean, did he really take away the issue? Because it's never enough.
No, not for them. If you give the liberals an inch, they're going to want to take a mile, and they're going to scream about that too, that you're unfair, that you gave them a mile. They don't change. You can read them like a book every time. But the other part of that sentence that he said there, but we're going to make the border even tougher. If we stop the people at the border from coming through, from even getting across, we won't have that issue of having to detain them and putting them in detention centers, because they won't even get to be able to cross onto American soil. And I believe in the wall. I believe that's what we need to do. Right now they were crying and screaming, and I do think it was quite insensitive what Lewandowski did. He gave them ammo when he made those comments. And they actually love that. They're going to play that all day long and all night long for the next few days. So he just gave them ammo. But if we can close the border, stop people from coming across, we won't have that issue. They won't have things to scream about on the left.
I understand that, but they're always going to scream. It's never going to be enough. There are just people that do not like you, that do not like me, and there you have it. So the press has put the pressure on, and it wasn't Trump. It was the Republicans that wouldn't stand behind him, that wouldn't have his back.
No, I'm very upset about that, too. You know, we've Cindy was talking about that this morning, the weak-kneed Republicans. I'm upset. I'm a conservative. I'm not really – I always vote Republican because those are the most conservatives out there. But I do not agree with the wobbly-kneed Republicans that are not supporting our conservative causes. And there's going to have to be some changes. Those people that are never Trumpers need to go. They should never be in positions of leadership if they can't lead.
Right, but it's not going to be enough. And, you know, you're going to have people say, look, Russell, just to wake people up here this morning at 580-5436-580-KIL, my friend Russell, who has done so much, the first caller to this program, is that right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, first caller to this program. And
well, the other part was when I was in Iraq and saw you on Armed Forces.
Right.
Yes, it was during a time period that the Armed Services Network was putting on Keith Olbermann, and they were trying to be fair and balanced and put on a bunch of liberals. And I sat there. You were on Spitball, and I was spitting at the TV with all these liberals that were on there. And you were a breath of fresh air to my beliefs in conservatism. And it was, I never imagined that I would come home and hear you on the radio that day that I called in.
Well, and here we are, almost 9 years later. So we're going to give you a chance to respond to this, Russell.
Okay.
As soon as we get it fired up here with the Commodore 64.
Nightmare is different. Because after weeks of tearing families apart at the border and then falsely insisting that only Congress could solve the problem, this afternoon, the president looked deep into his heart and realized it was not there. Jim?
You're signing an executive order. I consider it to be a very important executive order. It's about keeping families together. I didn't like the sight or the feeling of families being separated.
And at the end of the day, we all know everything is really about me and how it makes me feel so much. Sad, broken-hearted, me, so sad.
Your thoughts? That's Stephen Colbert, the spokesperson for CBS.
To be honest with you, I can't stand listening to those types of things because, you know, when I was over in Iraq and I saw the poverty and also the Salman family living in a shack, and when I brought them over to Idaho, we ended up bringing the whole family and also all of the interpreters all together. We kept them together as a family, and my wife and I sponsored 14 people over here, and they're doing well in society. The Salman's oldest daughter is getting ready to go to medical school, and so it's really not true what they're trying to say about the conservatives. Conservatives do believe in legal immigration, and everybody that I brought over were legal.
Here's the deal, and you know it better than anybody. Going through the legal immigration system, and I'm not even going to say the S word, is horrific, number one. Number two, at 580-5436, these people hate us. These people want to destroy us. And conservatives are compassionate. We want to be loved. We want to love. And yet they believe that the United States of America needs to be radically reformed, culturally, racially, ethnically, all sorts of things. And Donald Trump is our last hope.
Exactly.
You hear it on talk radio. There are very few of us left. At the local level, you're talking about the only one.
Yes. Well, we're so happy to have you here, Kevin.
They did their very best to eliminate me in 2008. Yep.
My gosh, but we've got you here. And, you know, what you just said about us as conservatives, we're not against legal immigration. We're just against illegal immigration. And the families that I brought over, it was all completely legal. And it seems like all they want is open borders. And honestly, Kevin, let's get to what it really is. The Democrats and the liberals just want voters, and because if the people coming illegally across the border were all voting for Republicans, you can say that they would be the first ones out there screaming, opposing anybody coming across that border.
Russell, great points. I've got to run, but thank you.
Good talking to you. You have a good day.
Thank you. And remember our motto of the day, everybody? I think you get the point. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Doug.
We're not going anywhere. We have all night long, right? Do we have time? All night.
There we have it. The president making America great again.
We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Minnesota. Thank you, Minnesota.
There we have it. The president of the United States countering the narrative. The media saying that the president surrendered, that the president is on the run, that the president is inhumane, and yet the people love him. Well, maybe we won't hear from Nancy Pelosi. How about this one?
Over the weekend, a number of members who are gathered on these steps visited detention centers both in New Jersey and Texas and California and saw firsthand the injustice and inhumanity of it all. And here we are bringing our concerns to the steps of the Capitol once again.
They're going to bring it, they think that they have Trump surrendering. Here's the issue. Does anybody really want to solve immigration? Does anybody really want to get uncomfortable? Do you want to deal with immigration? I can remember many years ago, and maybe this happened to you in your first job when you'd go into someone and say, well, we need to figure this out. And the boss would look at you and go, we do the path of least resistance around here. That's what our government has become, the path of least resistance. You see it on your taxes as they go up year after year after year. You see it on your opportunities as they diminish, and diminish. Liberty Linda, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Hello, Liberty Linda.
Good morning, Kevin. Do you know that, do you think liberals go to school to learn how to speak over conservatives?
I think they do. I think they go to school. I think they go to school to be indoctrinated.
Liberals always talk over conservatives, so no one can hear what the conservatives have to say. They do it all the time. Anyway,
the strategy is not to, Liberty Linda. The strategy is not to listen. The strategy is to shout down. We're living in, because of social media, because of the libs, and it just hit me. We are living in a totalitarian state. And I used to joke about this probably 6 or 7 years ago. Remember when the homosexuals and the gays would be in the closet? And the big thing was, I'm going to out myself and I'm going to be out and all those sorts of things. And I can remember, I'm laughing about it because unfortunately it's become true. I said, they're coming out of the closet. And we're not just talking about the gays, but we're talking about everybody. All the libs have come out of the closet. And I said, they're going to put us in the closet. It is true. Conservatism, traditional America, is marginalized, and they have us in the closet. We're mousy. We don't want to say anything because we have people, the libs, get in our face and, denounce us. And you have Republicans like Paul Ryan saying a bunch of things that nobody believes. I want you to respond to what Paul Ryan has to say.
Bottom line is this. We are going to take action to keep families together while we enforce our immigration laws.
Sure.
We do not want children taken away from their parents. We can enforce our immigration laws without breaking families apart.
Your response, Liberty Linda.
Well, I'm glad he's stepping down.
He's got to go.
Yeah, I agree. You can see what's going on. Our president did what they asked, and now what are they doing? They're still not happy. And so what are we supposed to do? What can we do? Of course, I don't think that our president is going to turn completely around. He's still going to have control over the border, and we were doing everything for those children. We don't even know if the children belong to whomever they say, the mothers or the fathers over there. We don't know if they really belong to them. They could be just a child that they grab onto and say, this is my child, so they can get into our country. So we don't even know what's really going on there at all.
Right, but if you bring this up, you're naive, you're this, you're that, blah, blah, blah.
Well, we're not dumb. We can see what's going on there. And, we love our country. We have to save our country. That's the most important thing.
Right.
We love everyone in the world. It's not that. We have to save our country. That's the bottom line. We love our country. We are the country that everybody looks to. Why do you think they're coming here? Anyway, so let's save our country. Let's go along with our president. Let's stick together. And it's time for us all speak out the truth. And it's wonderful to hear truth on your show, Kevin. That's why we all tune in. We love hearing truth. Thank you so much for giving that to us.
Well, thank you for calling in, Liberty Linda.
Thank you, Kevin, and have an absolutely wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Democrats put illegal immigrants before they put American citizens. What the hell is going on?
The president last night in Minnesota Can you tell me now that Americans do not want a wall being built? Mr. President, what do you say on KIDO Talk Radio?
We're building it. We're building the wall. That wall is happening. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Go home to your mom, darling. Go home. Get him out of here. Out.
And you tell me the president has lost his charm, his appeal? I don't think so. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. So the president acquiesces, the illegals can stay with their families, the criminals all can stay together. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, that's bad. Oh, we should be more sensitive. Okay. Tell that to the American families that have seen their standard of living going down. Tell that to the American families that are suffering. As the president of the United States said,
Democrats put illegal immigrants before they put American citizens. What the hell is going on?
580-5436, 580-KIDO. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. So the president isn't backing down, and we're not backing down either. Taking your phone calls at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Coming up next hour, Bridget Gabriel will join us. We'll talk a little bit about safety, security, and why the president must stick to his guns.
Anybody with a heart would feel very strongly about it. We don't like to see families separated. At the same time, we don't want people coming into our country illegally. This takes care of the problem. Thank you very much, everybody. So we're keeping families together, and this will solve. At the same time, we are keeping a very powerful border, and it continues to be a zero tolerance. We have zero tolerance for people that enter our country illegally.
580-5436, 580-KIDO. Currently it is 6:55. Let's get you to work safely and on time. And don't forget, Boise Music Festival this Saturday. Hope to see you there. Gates open at 10. See Baby Back, Parmalee, Robin Thicke. Going to be a great time. The Boise Music Festival. More details at KIDOTalkRadio.com. Phone numbers here, as we've told you. We'd love to hear from you. But the one statement that I think resonates, and there are many that resonate from what the president said last night, is this one. Whoops, that's build the wall. Sorry.
Democrats put illegal immigrants before they put American citizens. What the hell is going on?
So, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, I love to do what I can for rescue animals. When it comes to rescue animals, I don't think logically. I think that I should have like 10 or 20 in my house. Now, that would be the end of Mrs. Miller. We're capped out at what we have because that's what we can afford. And thankfully, I have my wife to keep me in line. And Americans have a heart. But this here's really what it is. This non-logical thinking where we have transferred at one time, the envy of the world, our standard of living for the American worker, because we're bringing in folks to do the cheap labor jobs. And I'm not saying they're not hardworking. I'm not saying that they don't work. Some of them do, some of them don't. But what I am saying is, if you have to pick between your family member and a total stranger when it comes to the last sandwich for lunch, well, you've got to take care of your family. When it comes to your children, you take care of your children. The libs, led by the Boise City Council, they believe that America has wronged the world, so this is how we make up for our sins of the past. There is no way that these sanctuary cities should be allowed. And when we put others ahead of us, I don't understand it. Again, to the point, Mr. President.
Democrats put illegal immigrants before they put American citizens. What the hell is going on?
Let's talk about it next, shall we? Waking up on the right side, Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.